Hello bookworms! I have another news and stuff video for you. I think this one is actually going to be like the most news-filled video that I have done yet because so much happened in the past couple of weeks. And I know that I say that a lot, but like I seriously have the longest email list of articles in front of myself. So here we go. The first bit of news that I have to share with you is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer just celebrated a very big anniversary. It was really fun. They had this like really cute shoot together. I think it was through Entertainment Weekly, and there were all these like adorable photos with the cast and everything. And then shortly after that was released, it was also announced that Simon & Schuster is going to be coming out with a series of books based on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's going to be called Slayer, and it's written by Kirsten White. It's set to debut in fall of 2018. And it's going to follow a brand new Slayer. So it's not going to follow Buffy, but it's going to be like in the same vein of the show. I guess this is going to be like the Slayer that has taken over since the events of the final season. Also exciting is that a series of unfortunate events on Netflix actually already got picked up for a third season, even though the second season hasn't debuted yet. So that's really exciting because the first season seemed to cover books 1 to 4. I bet the second season will be books 5 to 9, and then the final season will cover the remaining books. So that means that we'll be getting a complete story, which is really exciting. And Neil Patrick Harris got a really cute Count Olaf tattoo in order to like celebrate all of the renewals that have been announced. And I'm really excited because I thoroughly enjoyed that Netflix show. There's also a new trailer that has been released for Anne of Green Gables. That is set to debut, I want to say it's in May, so like very soon that will be coming to Netflix, and it looks really good. The girl who's playing Anne, she's going to do an amazing job, and I really enjoyed the trailer, and I'm just loving all of these book to movie and book to TV show adaptations that we're getting lately. And speaking of book to movie adaptations, the most exciting news in the world is that The Raven Boys is going to be coming to TV. I am so excited. I have wanted a Raven Boys TV series for so long, and I'm so happy that they're going to be doing a TV series instead of like a series of films, because I feel like it's going to translate so much better to television. And then we'll just have so much more time with these characters, and we'll have more Gansey in our lives, and everything will be great. So I have like super high hopes for that. I've been so excited since that announcement. And then more adaptation news, but it's kind of like a reverse adaptation, is that there is going to be a young adult Mean Girls novel coming out. It's being written by Mikal Osto, and it's being published by Scholastic. Believe it's also coming this fall of 2018. Entertainment Weekly also revealed a very pretty cover for it, along with an excerpt from the novel, which is going to be Katie's same story, but it's going to be told from different characters' perspectives and not hers. So it'll be interesting to see like what the other characters were thinking, and hopefully it'll be just as funny as the movie. We also got a cover for The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo, and it is beautiful. Also, Jay Kristoff has announced that there is now a title for the third book in the Illuminae files, and it is called Obsidio. There's no cover yet, but we now have the title of that book. Labyrinths Lost by Zorita Cordova, that is going to be adapted into a film. It's been optioned by Paramount. The book, it got a lot of buzz last year when it came out. It follows a girl, she's like a bruja, which is like a witch, and she doesn't want to have those powers, and then she wishes that she doesn't have them, and I can't remember if either the powers disappear or her entire family disappears, but it had gotten a lot of buzz, and I've heard good things about it. I have not read it yet, but it's really cool that they're going to be adapting it. Oh duh, some of the most exciting news is that our young Dumbledore has been cast, and it's going to be Jude Law playing Dumbledore. I am so excited about this. I feel like he is just so perfect for this role. It's not like when they announced that Johnny Depp was Grindelwald, and I was like, no, I don't like this. It was the complete opposite reaction. So I'm really pleased about this casting. I feel like Jude Law is going to do an amazing job playing him, and I can't wait to see like the dynamic between him and Johnny Depp, although I cannot see like the whole love thing happening between them because I don't know, Jude Law is just so great. So that's going to be like amazing. Sci-Fi has announced that they are picking up The Magicians for a third season. So I'm curious if they're planning on going like further than that, because there are only 3 books. So the first one seemed to cover the events of the first book. The second one has been like the second book. And now there's the third one. So it'll be the conclusion to the story, but I don't know if they're going to try to take these characters further or if they're going to try to explore other characters in the world after the third season ends. Then I had a while ago been talking about that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I love that book so much, and I just thought that this was such fun news, but that book is actually getting a manga adaptation. It's going to be entitled The Life-Changing Manga of Tidying Up, and I think it'll be really fun. It's actually, so it's going to have more of like a narrative as opposed to being like a nonfiction like informative book. It's gonna have more of a narrative. I believe it's following a young girl who is like looking to organize her life, and then it's gonna be like her story and like how she uses the KonMari method to get things together. So that should be just really fun. Oh, and I'm so excited. So a really long time ago, it was announced that Danielle Clayton is going to be writing a new book called Bells. For those who don't know, she is one of the authors behind the Tiny Pretty Things, Shiny Broken Pieces series. And I had been really anticipating her new book, but there hadn't really been any news about it because I think it was announced in 2016, but it's not slated for publication until 2018. But we just got a cover reveal for it, and it is so perfect. I just think that it's completely beautiful, and it is so like Marie Antoinette in my mind. I love it so much. I can't wait to read it, and it's going to be about it like explores the way that society values beauty. So I'm sure that it's going to be like amazing. And we got a new poster and trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I can't wait until December because I need that movie in my life. I just have to say, I was not expecting to love the poster for The Last Jedi as much as I do. I think it, like, they just did such an amazing job with it. It's so inspired by the original films that as soon as I saw it, I was just like, yes, like, this is... yes. The book Scythe by Neil Shusterman, it's being adapted into a film which was previously announced, but now we know who the writers are going to be. And they're going to be the writers who worked on 10 Cloverfield Lane. So I need to read that book very soon now because I definitely want to be caught up for when that comes out. We also got a name for the Kale novella turned novel by Sarah J. Maas, which is coming out on September 6th of 2017. It's going to be called Tower of Dawn. Originally it was supposed to be a novella, but it ended up turning into a full-length novel, not anywhere near as lengthy as Empire of Storms or Queen of Shadows, thank goodness, because who cares about Kale anymore? But that will be what has to hold us over until we get our conclusion next year, since that got pushed back, which is like super sad. Also, Life Size 2 is happening, and I'm like way more excited about that than I probably should be, but I loved that movie when I was young. Then two more news things that we found out about shows that are gonna be on Freeform are that they ordered to series a new television show called Siren, and it's like a mermaid series, but it's like dark. There's a trailer for it out now that you can watch. It looks interesting, and I'm definitely going to watch it because I love mermaids, and there really hasn't been any kind of mainstream mermaid like movies or anything. I think because they're like really hard to do, so it's understandable. I am like cautiously optimistic for it. We'll put it that way. And then we also got a trailer for Cloak and Dagger, who are 2 Marvel heroes that you don't really hear that much about, but they're getting a TV show. I think it's also on Freeform, and the trailer looked really good, and that I am more than cautiously optimistic for. I think that's going to be great. HBO is going to be adapting Fahrenheit 451 into a TV film. It's starring Michael B. Jordan and Michael Shannon, but we don't have too much other information besides that yet. And also in TV news is the Wheel of Time series, which is like this super epic, really long fantasy series. It is like one of the longest series that I've ever seen. It's 14 books long. It started being written in the 1980s by Robert Jordan, and the series finally reached its conclusion in 2007, but Robert Jordan passed away before he was able to complete it, and Brandon Sanderson is actually the one that finished out the series for him, because Robert told him like how he was planning on ending it, so Brandon kept it the way that Robert told him what he wanted, and then Brandon just wrote it for him. So that's gonna finally, like, there had been news a while ago about it being adapted into a TV show, and then like no one really talked about it again, but now it seems to be popping up, and they're saying that they're going to be like definitely moving forward with it. They announced that the showrunner is going to be Rafi Judkins, who worked on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Chuck, so that should be cool. And I think that if I enjoy the TV show, then I might try to read the books. It's like one of those series that has been on my book bucket list for so long, but there's just so many of them that I'm like, I just don't know if I can commit to that. Tor has announced that they're going to be releasing some mini hardcover versions of different like sci-fi and fantasy novels. Some of them include 6 Months, 3 Days, 5 Others by Charlie Jane Anders, and that is like a collection of short stories that's never been released in print before. And Charlie Jane Anders she's in charge of IO9, the like science fiction and fantasy blog, and she also came out with that book, All the Birds in the Sky. It was last year, along with Old Man's War by John Scalzi, Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson, Wild Cards by George R.R. Martin, Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, which is now a very controversial book, although I did really love it as a child. From the Two Rivers by Robert Jordan, which is like the beginning of the Wheel of Time series, which I just mentioned before. And lastly is just a bit of like just a random thing that I saw that I thought was really cool. Kotobukiya does these statues that are called Bishoju statues, and they're like really pretty versions of superheroes, and they're all of like the styles are very inspired by like Japanese art. But they're coming out with a Ms. Marvel one, and it is just by far the best one in the line that they have done like to date. It is so perfect. And if anybody is a Ms. Marvel fan, I would definitely recommend getting this one because it's so beautiful. So that's all that I have for this video. Let me know if you guys are excited about any of the things that I mentioned. Obviously, I'm like really excited for all of the things, and I was not able to narrow down any of the news in this video because there was just like so much to talk about. So I missed out on a couple of weeks because my mom unfortunately was back in the hospital, so I didn't really have any time to film for the past couple of weeks. So things just like kind of built up, and here we are. But she's home and she's good now, and now I'm also able to film again and get back on schedule and all that. So yeah, that's all that I have for this video, and I'll see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!